Hi, my name is Jessica Schwartz, and today is July 17th, and I am presenting my final project for this blended learning grad class that I am finishing up. I decided to do a pre-calculus trigonometry unit that was kind of my intro to trig for pre-calculus this year. We are anticipating some sort of blended learning approach this year due to COVID-19. I have always enjoyed exploring blended learning and making it more of a student-centered classroom, and so this wasn't really new to me. The main reason that I wanted to take this class was I felt like I was needing some more information and tools for just trying to make everything a little more seamless. I have played with a flipped learning style in the past, and the biggest problem was making my own videos. I did not like making them. I don't feel like I had the tools to make them, and I still am struggling with that a little bit, but I will show you some different things that I did to kind of make those videos this time around. I also wanted to do more of a flipped style this year because I am anticipating having to probably wear a mask every day, and my classroom is near the road, and so hearing traffic and fans with no air conditioning is not helpful anyway under normal circumstances, let alone having to wear a mask every day. So I felt like doing the lectures through a video would be more helpful so that I could provide class time for my students to be able to explore and work in small groups and collaborate and be a little more conversational there. So that was another reason. I am using Schoology as my learning management system. I've used that now for probably 8 years, I would say. I really like Schoology a lot. I think it's become quite robust even for the free version. And so Schoology would probably be the most disruptive style of tool that I think I'd be using. But I also like to use Desmos quite a bit, and I do have an example in this unit where kids are going to be using a Desmos exploration tool to help them understand a concept. Desmos is a graphing, it's a very powerful and free graphing utility that's web-based that kids really can get immediate feedback from, and I really like that a lot. We also have some sustaining type products that we've transitioned to just because of cost, and one of those is WebAssign, which is our online homework form. And I started using WebAssign last year. I do like it. I think it's made my students better math students. I think it's made them more aware of their notation and of accuracy, and so I will be using that again this year. And I also wanted to explore Edpuzzle, and that is in one of my videos that I created. I put it up through Edpuzzle where students had a checkpoint where they had to submit an answer before they could move on to watch the rest of the video. I feel like my unit has good flow, and I feel like, according to like the Danielson outcomes, I feel as if the main ones that I accomplished were probably designing a coherent instruction and establishing a culture for learning. And I feel like every piece of my unit builds on the previous one, and I also feel like I want kids to know that learning doesn't have to happen just within the four walls of my classroom, and that it can happen anywhere and any time. And so, obviously we have to kind of be ready for that, because I think this year will present quite a few challenges according to our schedule and just how the virus behaves, I guess, as we move forward into getting in person, and then do we have to go into some sort of a blended approach schedule-wise. So I'm hoping that I can create a culture where students feel like they can learn under any circumstances. I also feel like some of the challenges I know are going to be the case this year is just our schedule and figuring out how best to learn under those circumstances. I think I'm going to have to be flexible, and I think one way to keep myself accountable to that is continuing to try and stick with the schedule or the pace that I stayed with over the past. I always keep track of where I was from year to year, and I think that's going to be helpful this year to kind of make sure that I'm staying on track. And I also we'll be working with high school juniors and seniors, sometimes sophomores, depending on if they're advanced. All of these students have done well in Algebra 2, and all of them have had some experience with the learning management system, and many of them even with Schoology. So that will help. There shouldn't be too many navigation issues through the learning management system. So I think I'm just going to take some time now and get into the unit itself. And so anywhere you see a little computer icon right here, that would denote that there's some sort of a video lecture that I created to go with that. And also anywhere where you see notes pages so-and-so, that refers to this notes packet, and I will attach that for you to be looking through also. But I created this notes packet that is basically kind of all of the information about the unit and the concepts for the students all together in one place. And so you'll notice that some of these things are a little bit more exploratory and collaborative in nature, and then some of them have some lecture pieces to them. So the very first video, which is this notes page 1 and 2, is the right triangle trigonometry video, which just reviews that, and they should have seen that in geometry already. And so it goes through that all for them. And so as you go through this, you'll notice that there are activities to do in there, but it's all in one packet in one place for them to refer back to in their notebooks. So let's see. You'll also see that WebAssign is would be assigned for various sections, and I don't have that ready obviously because it's not something that is part of my it's stored in my WebAssign account, so that's there and that's been used before. This trigonometric functions of angles, this video right here is what I used Edpuzzle with, and I think I like it. I'm not really sure. I guess we'll see as students begin to use it, and I can kind of use those as some formative checkpoints for me to determine where we need to go from there. This board problems is basically just a Google slideshow. So they would have at this point already watched the video and went through some of the practice exercises in the video, and then the next day in class they would be coming in together and working on these. And when I say board problems, I like to actually get them up at the whiteboards using the markers and going through and doing these problems together. So they would be in a partnership and they would be solving this problem of cotangent of 5 pi over 3, and then when I click the button after they have their answer, they can check it and make sure that that is actually the answer they got. We go through and do that, and so that provides some more feedback for me as to whether or not they understood that concept. And this concept is something that we revisit quite a bit throughout the year, and even throughout the whole class with trig and polar coordinates and various things. So they do have to be very comfortable with that, and I try to help them with that. At that point, I would give this degree rating quiz, and I give that on paper, and I actually make that a mastery quiz that they have to complete until it is 100%. So it's a perfect quiz score that goes into the grade book, so they like that part of it. But for me, it just kind of puts me at ease with knowing that they had to do it and know how to do it in order to be successful with that. So that's something that I've put into practice the last couple years, and I think it's been really good. The last section of this unit is kind of hefty, and we spend quite a bit of time on it. They, according to our standards, have to be able to prove these two things, law of sines and cosines and area of a triangle, and then they also have to be able to understand and apply law of sines and cosines. So the first section in the notes page is an activity that prompts them through the proof. So they're working together in groups and doing that. Then I have a video on how we use the proof, or how we use the law of sines and cosines. And then we also have this ambiguous case that's through Desmos. And the thing I like about this is it is interactive, and so they can kind of move these sliders and see what actually is happening with these triangles, and under what circumstances do you have two triangles that exist, so on and so forth. So they can kind of play around with that, and then we go through the notes of that together in class. And we have another web assignment. And then this navigation worksheet is more application of law of sines and cosines, where they are, whether they're on a boat or on a plane, they are given a direction and a distance, and they have to kind of figure out how far they are from their location that they are trying to get to, what have you. So we have one example where we go through that together in class, and then they have two examples where they're working together in teams to kind of come up with that answer. Then I have what I call Brain Booster Task Days, and those are basically days that are just meant to kind of clean everything up, make sure everybody feels good. And then the trig test does include proofs of those things they had to do without the prompts, so they have to be able to be comfortable with that. And we take a day and we go through that, and that is another slide that I work through with them together as a class. And then we have more navigation problems that we work through, and so the test itself is pretty application based anyway. One area of struggle for me has been my videos, and I have not really felt like I've found a good tool. I have a good friend who has a bamboo Wacom tablet, and I have it right here. And I've actually been using it quite a bit to do this, and I've gotten used to it. I think it's better. It has a pen, and so it allows me to annotate a little bit nicer. You can see here are some of my annotations from my videos that I did a screencast with, and they're okay. I think one of my issues is that I just don't like how messy it looks, and so trying to find an electronic whiteboard that allows me to be neat and organized and not scattered everywhere is a struggle. Like, this kind of drives me bonkers right here, and that's maybe something I need to get over, and I don't know, that's still a struggle for me. I actually made these straight lines with the straight line tool, but it just takes more time, and so just getting used to the technology and trying to find technology that works that also doesn't cost an arm and a leg is really difficult. And so that has been just one of my biggest areas of struggle with all of this. I really like just having a marker and a whiteboard. It just doesn't get better than that for me. So this is new and different and harder to navigate through. So I hope this all works for my presentation, and I hope it was understandable. And if you have any questions or if you need me to do anything again, I will be happy to do that. Thank you.